Hi, welcome viewers. Welcome to TEC. I am Dr. Rajpal, and in this video we are going to take an article for the discussion from the Hindu dated 8th of September. The title of this article is very significant. Rather this article is very significant. तो मैं चाहूँगा कि आप सभी इस वीडियो को अंत तक देखें. The title of this topic that is also written on the board as well, empower the youth first. So empowerment of youth is the theme of this article, as it is evident from the title of this article in itself. The subtitle is "A focus on India's youth is the first step towards self-reliance." The idea of self-reliance, that is Atmanirbhar Bharat. So this idea of Atmanirbhar Bharat is the buzz of the day, as it is much talked about, and it has been converted into a kind of campaigning, a nationwide campaigning of Atmanirbhar Bharat. On Independence Day, the Prime Minister belabored his government's leitmotif of an Atmanirbhar Bharat. So there are two words which are of our significance. Basically this, let me share with you the very structure of this article. This article may be mapped out in 4 points: introduction or the entry into the text into this topic. जो यूथ एम्पावरमेंट का टॉपिक है उसके अंदर राइटर्स की एंट्री, उसका इंट्रोडक्शन, दैट इज़ कनेक्टेड विद द कॉन्सेप्ट ऑफ आत्मनिर्भर भारत. दूसरा द वे फॉरवर्ड, एंड प्रायर टू दिस द नेगिंग क्वेश्चन, अ वेरी रेलिवेंट, वेरी सिग्निफिकेंट क्वेश्चन: आर वी इन्वेस्टिंग इन आवर यूथ? दिस इज़ अ क्वेश्चन. एंड देन द वे फॉरवर्ड, learning from MGNREGA. So this idea of self-reliance, in order to achieve this mission of Atmanirbhar Bharat, we need to empower the youth. And why, how, what is the current scenario? These in order to have answer to these questions, I request to watch this video till its end. So belabor means to repeat an idea, argument many times to emphasize it, especially when it has been introduced and people understand it. So belabor means to emphasize in brief, and leitmotif, an idea or phrase that is repeatedly used in a text, in a book or a work of art. So इसका मतलब ये हुआ कि स्वतंत्रता दिवस पर द प्राइम मिनिस्टर belabored his government's leitmotif of an आत्मनिर्भर भारत, कि प्रधानमंत्री जी ने इंडिपेंडेंस डे के अपने भाषण में आत्मनिर्भर भारत के आइडिया का, जो कि इनकी गवर्नमेंट का आइडिया है, उस पर बहुत ज़्यादा फोकस किया है. इन टुडेज इंडिया वी कैन अचीव दैट गोल ऑफ सेल्फ रिलायंस only if we enhance our citizens' capabilities. Given our demographic composition, we must begin by empowering our youth. So the first step for the success of Atmanirbhar Bharat is to empower the youth. आत्मनिर्भर भारत की सफलता के लिए सबसे पहला जो स्टेप होगा वो होगा यूथ को एम्पावर करने का. Are we investing in our youth? This is the nagging question, and I call it a nagging question because it is a painful question. When we look at the scenario, the growing unemployment and all that, so that way it becomes a nagging and a very relevant question indeed. So a lot of data is given here in favor of this argument, and let me read out some portion of it. The 2014 National Youth Policy defined youth as person between 15 and 29 years. So definition of youth is given there. जो भी व्यक्ति 15 से 29 साल के बीच में है, that is youth. As per the NYP, that is National Youth Policy 2014. This cohort, COHORT, we are trying our level the best that you find a specific slide of the vocabulary of the relevant or the concerning article in the video itself. Maybe in this video we would be able to do that. In case we are not able to do that, kindly take the vocabulary from the lecture itself. So cohort is a group of people who share a common feature or aspect of behavior. For example, the 1999 born cohort. So it means all the children born in the year 1999. This cohort, this group of people, this group of the youth accounted for 27.5% of the population then. So in 2014, there were youth and the population of the youth was 27.5%. This is the data that we need to have when we go for framing a good argument in an essay or in any talk. According to the NYP report, the central government spends about 2,710 per youth on education, skill development, employment, healthcare and food subsidies. NYP की रिपोर्ट के हिसाब से हमारी गवर्नमेंट 2,710 रुपये एक यूथ की एजुकेशन पे, उसके हेल्थ केयर पे, उसके स्किल डेवलपमेंट पे खर्च करती है. एंड the total amount is pegged at more than 90,000 crore. Assuming that states spend an equal amount, the total investment in our youth would be under 1% of the GDP. So this is the main data that we need to have. कि 2014 के हिसाब से 2014 की NYP की रिपोर्ट के हिसाब से हमारे देश की जनसंख्या का 27.5% यूथ था, जो कि 15 से 29 साल के बीच का ग्रुप है. और इस कोहोर्ट की इस ग्रुप के ऊपर जो स्टेट और सेंट्रल गवर्नमेंट्स का एक तरीके का इन्वेस्टमेंट जिसको कहें, स्किल डेवलपमेंट के लिए, हेल्थ केयर के लिए, एजुकेशन के लिए, दैट इज़ अंडर 1% ऑफ द GDP. दैट इज़ एन आई ओपनिंग फैक्ट, हार्डली commensurate with their population and potential. So this very lesser investment in the empowerment of the youth, that is under 1% of the GDP, is an eye-opening fact, and it is not in proportion to the potential and the population of the youth. So it is not only the matter of the population that you are the 27% of the total population of the country and therefore you need some sort of investment, but it is about the question of potential as well. A World Bank report pegged the projected cost, read loss, of an investing in children and youth at 4% of the GDP every year. Of this, the cost of unemployment account for 0.6. So the data of unemployment which are very much available in the public domain, and most of us, particularly the youth, we are very much familiar to that. But one more thing, that this COVID-19, the ongoing COVID-19 crisis has resulted or has impacted the employability rate of the nation very pathetically, and there is no sign of some sort of relief as well. So this has become very grave area of the employability part. So these numbers, let me quote one data, that is the estimated loss of 14 crore jobs in April alone, of which 2.7 crore concerned youth. These numbers coupled with impending grim implication, impending, something that is pending and that is unfortunate, something that is likely to happen and we don't want it to happen. So something bad, unpleasant, that might happen. So that is impending. And grim is looking or sounding very serious. Implications of the pandemic have landed us in uncharted turbulent economic waters. I request you to underline this word, and I repeat it for you, have landed us in uncharted, turbulent economic waters. So uncharted, turbulent economic waters, it might be, we may replace the word economic with in another context, and that is that I mean by transformative generative grammar. So the way forward is certainly has been suggested by the writers. The aspirational younger generation born after 1991 invariably hold the key to India's economic and political future. India has just a decade's time to seize the opportunity and realize this youth demographic dividend. Therefore, it is an appropriate time to launch an India Youth Guarantee Program, IYG. There is a need in the way forward, IYG program, that is Indian Youth Guarantee. We have so many policies, so many programs for the betterment of the people in the name of guarantee schemes and guarantee acts. So we can think of Indian Youth Guarantee Program. Akin to means similar to, AKIN, similar to, so akin to the European Union Youth Guarantee, that is European Youth Guarantee, YG, yes, EUYG. So we may launch IYG, Indian Youth Guarantee, akin to EUYG, but tuned to our country's context. EUYG emerged in 2010. The history of EUYG. यूरोप के अंदर यूरोपियन यूथ गारंटी प्रोग्राम वॉज लॉन्च्ड इन 2010. 2010 में वो शुरू हुआ था. At a time when youth unemployment rates were soaring about 20% there in Europe. An IYG initiative with statutory backing. Statute से आपका statutory word बना है, and statute is a document very well planned regarding the rules and regulations of an institution or a policy or a program, can function as a facilitatory framework. Facilitate to help something, and facilitatory framework, this is also a combination that we can learn from here. For ensuring gainful and productive engagement of the youth. Gainful and productive engagement of the youth, we need to engage the youth in a very productive manner, in a gainful manner. At a time of fiscal stress is the economical stress. One way to allocate budgetary resources would be to create a youth component plan, earmarking, EARMARKING. Earmarking is an activity wherein we decide in advance that this thing would be used for this purpose. For example, we have earmarked this amount of money for the building of new schools. So to decide something in advance about the usage of particular thing or money. Plan earmarking a specific percentage of funds under separate head on the lines of the special component plan for the scheduled caste and the tribal sub plan. और उसके अंदर भी जो आपने एक एलोकेशन किया बजट का, उसमें से भी आप फर्दर रिजर्व कर दें कि कौन सा शेड्यूल्ड कास्ट अनएम्प्लॉयमेंट के लिए, कौन सा जो ट्राइबल सब प्लान्स, उन सभी के लिए भी आप उसमें बजटरी एलोकेशंस करें. द यूथ कंपोनेंट प्लान वुड बी फॉर्मुलेटेड बाय द स्टेट, यूनियन टेरिटरीज, सेंट्रल मिनिस्ट्रीज टू चैनलाइज फ्लो ऑफ आउटलेज. Outlay is a significant word here, worthy of our notice, and outlay is the money that is needed in order to launch a new project. So ये सारी bodies union territories, state governments, central ministries, they are to be there to channelize the flow of outlay, the seed money that is needed for new projects. And then and benefit proportional to the percentage of the youth population based on sub-regional requirements. IYG should not be just another budgetary scheme. Its strategic goal should be to ensure that within a fixed time frame, young people graduating from colleges or losing job either find a good quality of job suited to their education and experience or acquire skill required to find a job through an apprenticeship. अब ये भी कहा गया है कि IYG को भी हमको एक और बजटरी स्कीम ना बना के रख दें, इसको अच्छे से एग्जीक्यूट किया जाए और इसका मकसद ये हो कि जो भी बच्चे कॉलेज से ग्रेजुएट होने वाले हैं उनकी एम्प्लॉयमेंट की व्यवस्था हो, और अगर किसी की जॉब गई है तो उसको उसकी क्वालिफ़िकेशन के हिसाब से जल्द उसको जॉब मिले, और अगर उसके पास स्किल नहीं है तो अप्रेंटिसशिप के कॉन्सेप्ट के हिसाब से उसको उसके अंदर वो स्किल डेवलप करने का भी प्रोविज़न इसके अंदर हो. दैट इज़ इंडियन यूथ गारंटी. सो इट इज़ अ वेरी कॉम्प्रिहेंसिव आइडिया एंड इट नीड्स टू बी एग्जीक्यूटेड फॉर द बेटरमेंट ऑफ द यूथ. यूथ एम्पावरमेंट के लिए जो आइडिया है IYG का, it's a very wonderful idea. It must be executed, it must be thought about. And then existing youth schemes and skilling infrastructure need to be dovetailed and streamlined while leveraging industry to enable in situ empowerment of youth. In situ means that means in appropriate position or in appropriate manner. It must be streamlined. Learning from MGNREGA. The Mahatma Gandhi National Rural Employment Guarantee Act has been very effective in providing rural livelihood, security and social protection. Yet only about 4% of the youth in the labor force have been impacted by it. While an urban youth employment program will be a new intervention, we believe that rural youth employment should be instituted alongside Manrega. IYG needs to be implemented across the country to address youth unemployment, particularly given to rapid structural changes in the economy. Rapid is fast, rapid structural changes. You can focus at the word structural changes. So we need to have this IYG parallel to MGNREGA. The index, how would such a guarantee identify the needs of the youth? The Youth Development Index YDI in India serves as an advisory and monetary tool for youth development. It helps recognize priority areas, gaps and alternative approaches specifically to each state. The index also packs a new dimension of social inclusion to access the inclusiveness of the society progress due to prevalence, dominance of systematic inequalities. In short, YDI, that is Youth Development Index, in tune to HDI, Human Development Index, can be revised and deployed, can be used to play a vital role in crafting a region-specific IYG. Our focus on our youth is the first step towards self-reliance. It is time to summon the political will to guarantee our youth a viable future. Viable is that can happen, viable that is feasible, viable future. So this has been the article. Let me summarize it in brief. इस आर्टिकल के अंदर 2-3 आइडियाज़ बेसिकली रखे गए हैं कि जो आत्मनिर्भर भारत का कॉन्सेप्ट है उसके सक्सेस के लिए, उसको सफल बनाने के लिए सबसे पहला स्टेप होना चाहिए यूथ गारंटी प्रोग्राम, दैट इज़ IYG, इंडियन यूथ गारंटी प्रोग्राम. और इसका जो पैटर्न है उसको मनरेगा के पैटर्न पे शुरू किया जा सकता है, बट ये एक एडवाइजरी और एक बजटरी प्रोग्राम ना रहे, इसको एग्जीक्यूट बेहतर तरीके से किया जाए। और इसका जो मकसद है उसके अंदर 3 महत्वपूर्ण बातें कही गई कि जैसे ही एक यूथ ग्रेजुएट होने वाला हो तो उसके एम्प्लॉयमेंट की व्यवस्था हो, और अगर किसी की जॉब चली जाती है तो उसको उसके एजुकेशन के हिसाब से, उसके एकेडमिक प्रोफाइल के हिसाब से उसको जॉब मिलनी चाहिए। और अगर उसके अंदर किसी स्किल की कमी है तो हमारे पास वो सारा सिस्टम हो कि उसके अंदर वो रिक्वायर्ड स्किल्स को भी इम्पार्ट किया जा सके, ताकि वो अपने आप को एम्प्लॉयबिलिटी के बेनिफिट से अपने जीवन को बेहतर कर पाए। और उसके अलावा एक आई ओपनिंग जो फैक्ट है वो ये है दैट आर गवर्नमेंट्स पुट टुगेदर, सेंट्रल एंड स्टेट गवर्नमेंट्स, दे आर spending under 1% of the GDP. That is an eye-opening fact. So with these words I thank you all। और हम वैरायटी ऑफ टॉपिक्स पे, जैसा कि न्यूज़पेपर में आर्टिकल्स आते रहते हैं, उन सभी आर्टिकल्स पे, रेलिवेंट आर्टिकल्स पे, उनकी सोसाइटल नेशनल सिग्निफिकेंस के हिसाब से आपसे डिस्कस करते रहेंगे। और आपको ये आर्टिकल्स, ये वीडियोस कैसे लग रहे हैं, आपको टेक के साथ आपका अनुभव कैसा है, वो आप अपने कमेंट्स के माध्यम से हमसे ज़रूर शेयर करें। अगर अभी तक आपने इस यूट्यूब चैनल को सब्सक्राइब नहीं किया है, सो काइंडली सब्सक्राइब इट। एंड इफ़ यू लाइक द कंटेंट, इफ़ यू लाइक द वीडियोज़, इफ़ यू लाइक द टॉपिक्स बीइंग डिस्कस्ड इन द videos, kindly like the videos and share them. Thank you.